It emerged fully formed from the cloud of burst paint and shredded wallpaper. They should have those clouds for walls. I seen that in a video game. But I could tell this wasn't a wall at all, 'cause something was coming out from behind it. A hulking silhouette dredging its fungal being through the wisps of primer and stucco, living for the thrill of that grand entrance, born but moments ago, yet always existing in the hearts and minds of those who fear home decor. Weirdly placed muscles, biceps over each knee, some parts real skinny, skipped a couple machines at the gym, said, I'll just work on my 4 biceps again. Real big arms, scrawny wrists, didn't work the wrists enough. You gotta do that one machine that makes it look like you're doing the cool people dance from the movie where the guy has a wrong chin and he uses it as harmonicas for various festivals, performing, booking gigs, and essentially selling out party after party until one day he learns that the angel of dance has blessed him as the new messiah of grooves. This creature was somewhat less jovial, came in, flexed a couple times, punched me in the stomach. I fell to the floor, holding my stomach. Why do we hold stuff when it gets punched? Isn't holding just additional soft punches? But anyway, with me out of the picture, he's roaming around, critiquing my knickknacks, talking about color theory, talking about angles. When you enter a room, your hangings must ascend to create a sense of gravitas. I'm like, buddy, sometimes after you walk into a room, you walk out of it. In fact, I've done that with every room. Comes back over, picks me up. I think he's gonna whale me one again. Instead, he cleans my shirt for me with a sponge dipped in holy water, and in the other hand he's got a bottle of some diluted perfume he tells me he bought on vacation in Paris, and inside I know he's lying to me because he's like 3 minutes old, but God, it smells Parisian. I ask him what I can do to fix all of this. He scans the apartment and says, it's gonna take a bit. This shall begin now. I buy him a suit first. That's a confused tailor. That costs extra. We head downtown where the landscape itself is built of upward mobility and hope for a better tomorrow. The sidewalks there, lots of gum on them. This seems at odds with the general aspiration toward class and dignity that the area represents, and I tell my wall demon as much. He just pats me on the shoulder, starts cleaning my shirt again. I'm like, buddy, this is the same shirt. It has been 1 hour. He says, you still don't get it, but you will. And I took him at his word. We walked in to a place that is not explicitly for home decor. Mostly they sell towels embroidered with puns about steak tartare. However, in the back, 2nd floor, this place has stories. They have bunch of well-sculpted roosters, sculpted by artisanal craftspeople. You can tell the one man stocking the shelves is actually the craftsman of the roostermen. He has stringy gray hair, looks worried as we peruse the merchandise, and only the faintest flicker of a smile adulterates his suffocating anxiety as we leave with 4 of his roosters. Come home, set up the roosters. Wallman asks me my impression. I tell him I honestly think it clashes with what I've already got going on. He concurs. Now it's Rooster Central in here. It's been 4 years. Everything is roosters now. I eat roosters off of roosters. The rooster on the bottom knows what's coming for him, because then he's upgraded to rooster on top, which sounds cool and sophisticated until you realize that the rooster below you is the plate and your dinner. For a while, we experimented with eggs, but those are too roly-poly. Decor needs to stay put or else it's technically a pet. I asked Wallman if he's ever going to fade back into the nothingness from which he came, or if I just have a roommate now, and he said it's the roommate thing. It's you and me and roosters forever, buddy. I said, you can't possibly mean forever. And he says, you're immortal now. I said, no. My doctor would have mentioned that. He says, oh yeah, watch this. Grabs a crowbar, pries up the floorboards, leads me down into a basement. My place is on the 4th floor. How's there a basement? We walk through the darkness. He grabs a flashlight from a shelf along the wall. He's been in here before. Cobwebs line the right side, but not the left. We walk through the cobwebs. At the end, we find a large gorilla, not King Kong-like at all, because again, skipping some gym machines, real thin chin, but the cheekbones come out so far they touch the walls on either side. Head tapers to a point. I kinda think his head never ends. Just gets infinitely thinner and longer at the crown, such that, perhaps even at the edge of the universe, where the first photon has yet to reach, there's still some gorilla head. No hair below the chin, just exposed gorilla flesh, couple spikes coming out from just beside the armpit. I don't know what made me think this was a gorilla initially. In hindsight, I kinda don't see it. Wallman asks the non-gorilla, can you kill this dude? Non-gorilla walks over to me, cheekbones scraping the concrete walls, and I'm thinking, concrete walls? This place hasn't been decorated, where are the roosters? But there's no time for that now, because this strange basement friend of my accident roommate approacheth. Reaches out, taps my forehead, sniffs my earlobes, rubs some dirt on my shirt. Wallman immediately comes over, cleans it off, spritz me with the Parisian perfume. A fake gorilla shakes his head sadly and says, you know, Wallman, you know I love slaying folk. This is an unslayable folk. Wallman says, see? I'm like, this isn't proof. This is a beast in a basement. I'm not paying rent on this basement. I only trust what is housed by my rent money. Wallman says, that's kind of sad. You don't trust the people you pass when you walk down the street? Shopping for roosters? I'm like, no. Homie, you read the news lately? Wallman says, look, the news doesn't lie to you. I'm not going to stand here and tell you that, but the news highlights the negative so you will feel a level of distress that compels you to keep watching so they gain advertising revenue. I say, that is a surprisingly erudite opinion for someone who is technically a fog of various walling. He says, hey, If you judged everybody the way you just judged me, you'd have a real career in judging." I apologized. He said he understood. He forgave me, cleaned my shirt some more, smacked me real hard, and I fell out of the bottom of the earth. Plummeted somehow from what I imagine is the upper boundary of the planet's atmosphere. I looped around on myself in an anti-logic brigade march and reached terminal velocity before too long. And you know, friction of reentry, that right there, well, that is a kind of a beast in its own right. Have to think. Normal individual probably would have passed away from this. I landed hard in the middle of Madrid. In mid-Madrid, everybody's looking around like something is super amiss. I can't argue with that, and I don't speak Spanish, so even if I could, I would be... I think... No, Europe in general is pretty good with English. Somebody would have understood me. Point is, I didn't communicate in this moment, didn't think to do so. I thought, oh my, I must hasten on my way to the pearly gates. But turns out that instead of that, I had a helicopter waiting for me. And inside of it, there's fake Gorilla Man. He's like, you see what we're talking about? Me, though, I'm still not feeling like talking at much of at all. I board the helicopter. He gives me the special helicopter headphones. Billie Holiday sings me to sleep. I get home. I walk home. It's like I'm seeing my apartment for the first time. There's a monster sitting on a rooster. Everything's roosters except for the monster. And I'm like, this is beautiful. I'm sorry for everything I've ever said, buddy. Can you clean my shirt? Wall monster wipes back a tear made of paint thinner. I thought he was about to pull some Frosty the Snowman BS and melt away because of the paint thinner, but that didn't happen. Instead, he just went, I'll wash your shirt forever. I love you, man. Me and the monster, we smooched a bit. He did taste like walls, which I probably should have seen coming. Huh.